Is Baron Corbin ruining Raw's main event? I'm Ollie Davis. This is Luke Owen. Welcome to the WrestleRamble review edition of Raw. Forgot what we were talking about there. Please press the thumbs up button, give us a subscribe, and get your super chats in, because we're joined by WrestleTalk.com's Randy Andy Datson. He'll be compiling your super chats, which we'll get to in the break. But first off, it's happened. We all knew it was going to happen. There have been advertisements about Baron Corbin fighting for the Universal Championship for months now. There have been reports from Dave Meltzer that he'll be fighting for the Universal Champion for weeks. Yet it happened, and I still had a punch to my stomach when his arm was raised at the end here.
Yes, this has been something that's been building now for months. The report from Meltzer was that's why he was picked to retire Kurt Angle, is because they were grooming him to be Universal Championship material.
Yes.
So we, as you say, we all knew this was coming. The main event of Stomping Ground was advertised to be Corbin versus Rollins for the title. And with all the heat, brother, that he's been getting with his ring introduction, not the matches,
WrestleTalk's favourite son.
we knew that this was coming. And yet, when this match started, which was a fatal four-way, and it was to crown the new number one contender.
It wasn't a fatal four-way. It was a four-way elimination match.
We'll get to that. And it was announced as Braun Strowman versus The Miz versus Bobby Lashley versus Baron Corbin. I was like, honestly, Corbin is the only person that can win this match. But he's still the fourth person, or he's number 4 on the list. I'd want to win this match. And even then, I'd probably say he was 8th, because I don't want anyone to win this match. Because any one of those combinations sounds so dreadfully dull.
Over the last year, Corbin, Lashley, Strowman, Miz, they've all been heels. They've all had their own little mid-card slots. Strowman, when he was with McIntyre and Ziggler as the Dogs of War. Of course, Corbin and Lashley are pretty much brothers now, the amount they've been together.
The mid-card of evil. They were working strongly together in this match. Little fist bumps and everything.
And The Miz was like, had his little B-team entourage before then. So it's just like all 4 of these guys, they're fighting for the Universal Championship. None of them feel special.
No, absolutely not.
And like you said, we got the worst possible winner in Corbs.
Yeah, and
Of all the times WWE's predictable, and we're like, okay, that's good. I want it to be predictable because I like the direction they're going in. And they swerve us. Why couldn't they swerve us this time, Luke?
Well, who would you rather they have picked? Of those 4?
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, it was...
Bray Wyatt.
Well, I would say, here is my one caveat to why I'm not, massively dejected about this. It is for Super Aradia down. In theory, this is a one-off. In the same that Ziggler is a one-off for Kofi. This feels like it could just be a one-off, program run, done for this one show, and then we can start... And because AJ's injured, and then we can start a proper program once we get out of Saudi Arabia Showdown.
Do you want to hear my prediction?
Hit me.
We're getting a title change.
You reckon Corbin's winning? Oh, you reckon
Lesnar's cashing in.
Okay.
Lesnar doesn't have a match 10 days out. I don't think they're going to set him up in a random match. Like, who can he face? There are 50 people in that Battle Royal.
Big show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he's a boot,
yeah.
Mark Henry.
Yep, there you go.
Someone big to flip.
Exactly, yeah, big burly dude.
But we know Lesnar's going to be on the Super Arabia show because that's pretty much what pays his money. That's how they break even on Brock Lesnar. And I can't see him fitting in anywhere else other than he comes in and takes the belt off of Seth after Corbin has had a match with him.
Yeah.
And it ties back to Braun Strowman at what was it called? Crown Jewel last year.
Yeah.
When Baron Corbin hit Braun Strowman with the briefcase when he had the match with Brock Lesnar.
That's right. Oh.
And that's how Brock Lesnar won that vacated belt.
It's its own little mini universe with its own little mini continuity storylines.
And we pay the price.
So you think that as of next Friday, Brock Lesnar is going to be Universal Champion once again?
But saying it out loud, Yeah, that makes total... Yeah.
Of course, it makes the most sense in the world.
I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's 100% certain, but we all need to start preparing ourselves mentally.
Well,
because AEW doesn't launch weekly until October.
The alternative is, and I've seen a few people suggest this, and I don't think that they are particularly wrong in this line of thinking, that Lesnar will cash in on the first SmackDown on Fox. On Kofi or whoever is the WWE champion at that point. So you have your big debut SmackDown on Fox and you have your big angle at the end of the show, which is Lesnar cashing it in. So you've set up now this Chekhov's gun that Lesnar knows he's got all year to pick his spot. And so he can pick his spot in October when they go to Fox.
It's like 4 or 5 months of booking now.
Well, he's not going to be there for it, so it doesn't matter, does it? He's going to go home somewhere. He's got farming to do. There are deer that need to be shot. He's not going to be around for it.
Yeah, he can do that with the Universal title that Seth, won from Seth.
Well, yeah, but we can just have Seth as champion for a little bit. I don't think you're wrong. I think it could happen at Saudi Arabia, or it will happen out on the Fox show.
I think WWE have set a precedent to the Saudi Arabian fans, and more importantly, the Crown Prince, that there's going to be a big title change, that Brock Lesnar the big UFC guy, he gets the gold. Yeah.
Well,
Well, let's talk about what happened in this actual match that gave us Baron Corbin in Super Arabia. It was Braun Strowman versus The Miz versus Corbin versus Lashley. And before the match got started, The Miz had a direct-to-camera promo where he said, "Hey, guys, I'm going to have a baby girl. I just found out the gender of my baby with Maurice." And then it cuts to Braun Strowman, similar direct-to-camera promo. He's like, "I'm going to kill you, Bobby Lashley. I'm going to rip off your head, Baron Corbin. And congratulations to The Miz. I'm so happy for you that you're going to have a little girl." I was like, what's going on here? It was so weird.
Vince clearly is on this kick at the moment of family men.
Yeah.
Now that, there are, because he did this with Kofi.
Kevin Owens.
A lot of Kofi's promos in the lead up to Mania were like, "I'm a family man, I need to provide for my kids." You're right, Kevin Owens' gimmick when he came back was, "I'm a family man." And now Miz's whole deal is, "I'm going to be a father for the second time." It's clearly his new kick of, this is how we're going to get guys over to the crowd, is that they are family men fighting for their family. Like that Page movie we did.
That's probably where he got the idea from. When Vince has an idea for a character, he will not stop until someone fits that character. Look at Emelina. Look at Lana. Look at Mandy Rose. It's the same attempted character that he's been trying to make work for years now.
You missed a step there as well. Eva Marie was in there.
Eva Marie.
It was Emelina, Eva Marie, Lana, and then Mandy Rose. Yeah, crikey.
So this was a elimination match.
I only found that out about halfway through.
It was billed at the start of the show as an elimination match in the graphic, and the commentators were talking about it like it was an elimination match. And like you already said, Corbin and Lashley worked together for the majority. I don't think they ever turned on each other, not like McIntyre and Corbs did a couple of weeks ago. And then Strowman and Lashley brawled through the crowd and out the arena. End of days on Miz, and Corbin wins.
And Michael Cole says that Strowman and Lashley took themselves out of the match. Or they took each other out of the match. They got counted out in a fatal four-way match where there are no countouts.
Yeah. So who cares?
Why advertise it as an elimination match then? If you had a finish that is a one-fall finish, then just say it's a fatal four-way and have those two brawl to the back.
Yeah.
The finish is the same. It's just we don't need to sit here and go like, well, why'd you advertise an elimination match then?
Yeah, and I like elimination matches. I like the structure of them. I wish three-way dances were more of a thing. So you had the triple threat goes down to a two-person at the end. So I feel cheated out of a more dramatic story.
Well, this show overall was not a response to Double or Nothing.
No.
It was not a response I think some people were probably expecting WWE to do. Be like, well, God damn it, kid. That AEW upstart has pulled out a really good show that was really critically acclaimed. We need to pull out all the big guns for Monday Night Raw with our dwindling ratings.
You can compete against someone, or you can take the opposite track and go the other way and fill that place that they're not occupying.
Cater to the audience that don't want Double or Nothing.
Exactly. So they don't want wrestling. So you're not going to get wrestling for an hour and a half, and when you do it, Shane McMahon.
When that match started and it was an hour into the show, I was like, this is an absolute joke.
Wins and losses matter? That's an AEW thing. We're not going to tread on their toes. Here's Cesaro versus Ricochet. 50-50 booking. You want... What else did they have?
We advertised... No, I didn't watch Raw last week, but did they not advertise a State of the United States Championship picture?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio was going to come out, yeah.
Yeah, and then this week they just said... Next week, Rey Mysterio is going to announce the future of the championship. And Joe came out, and I was like, well, Joe's going to be pissed off then because he was meant to get the championship this week. He just came out and said, like, well, I'll see you next week, Rey.
Yeah. Well, let's get on with the full review in a second then, because it's hard not to talk about Raw as a complete shoddy hole at the moment.
Yeah. I will say, I didn't think the match was terrible.
Strowman had a really fun... I forgot how good Strowman is when he comes back and he's monster weight and he hit that double shotgun drop kick.
Oh, it was great,
yeah, it was really good. But they've just been booked into oblivion, really, into this mid-card vortex for so long.
They were trying super hard with Bobby Lashley on commentary. Look at him. Look how impressive he is. Look how strong Bobby Lashley is. They clearly just only thought, like, oh, no, we booked him against Braun Strowman. We need to really hammer home on this show. He is strong.
Yeah. But before we get into the full play-by-play, let's have your super chats from Randy Andy Datsun.
Yes, let's. Do you know, quickly, Bo, how many times would you say Brock Lesnar has been Universal Champion?
Twice.
Ooh, no, 3 times.
No, once. No, twice. Yeah, twice. Yeah, he beat,
I thought
beat
it was
Goldberg.
I thought it was like 8 times because it just feels like it's been so many times.
Yeah, he beat Goldberg, then he won the vacant title, right, at Crown Jewel. Because I remember when I did this, I did the Crown Jewel review, and I said it's the second time he won the title, and everyone was trying to correct me, saying it was the third time he's won the title. And I was like, what's the third one? I can only remember Goldberg.
No, he's been WWE champion 4 times and Universal twice.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, we've got loads of super chats, so thank you for them.
Thank you very much.
Victor Vega starts, as he often does, saying, after Double or Nothing and Raw, WWE is in trouble.
Not for another 5 years.
Well, you know, if
financially speaking.
Yeah, we'll see. It's too early to say. I can't even predict.
Yeah.
Vernon Jeffries says the mid-card vortex is strong with Baron Corbin. Also, I was expecting Raw to be above average after Double or Nothing. It was just average instead.
You and me both, dude. Like, I genuinely thought there'll be someone in the back that'll be like, guys, we need to really step it up on this show.
Yeah, Triple H, because they destroyed his toy throne.
Yeah.
I thought that would legit have annoyed him.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, like, if it didn't legit annoy him, at least foster a bit of friendly rivalry where they have a shot back. We did get a reference, but we'll come on to that
Triple H
later.
comes out and burns a Stardust sort of bodysuit.
Yeah.
It'd be a mirror, wouldn't it? Because that was his gimmick previously, wasn't it? We'd look in the mirror and go,
Punch a mirror.
Maybe that's what Mojo Rawley is.
Oh, he's been looking at Cody this whole time.
Jobber JJ says, I never want, as he's written, Brock Lesnar to cash in.
Well,
I mean, I genuinely thought in my head when he won Money in the Bank, I was like, oh right, well this is there to set up the Saudi Arabia show, and he'll cash it in ahead of time to get the match. And then I thought, which is fine because Seth will win and we'll just move on with our lives. But apparently, I was very, very wrong.
no, Brock's a heel. Brock won't pre-announce a cash-in. He'll cash in on Seth.
But he's like a prize fighter.
After he's been beaten up by Corpse. Yeah, prize fighter.
Well, why didn't
in
he do
Saudi
that today,
Arabia.
then? When Seth was wounded.
Because Saudi money. He knows.
He doesn't want to fight Baron Corbin. That's the problem. It's like Jinder Mahal. He's like making sure that AJ wins so that he doesn't have to face Jinder.
Adrian Wells, thank you for your donation.
Thanks, Adrian.
Joshua Thompson says, should Brock be thought of when discussing the best wrestlers in the world? Been a fan since he debuted on SmackDown. #Brock Party.
I mean, do you know what? I am a fan of Brock. I really enjoy Brock matches. I've said this many, many times before. I think that when he is motivated, he is on another level of good. I think he is an absolutely incredible wrestler. I just don't think he was enthused much last year. And it barely showed up last year, had just like less and less and less dates. And I'm now at a point where I'm kind of sick of it because it's the same storyline we've had now for 4 years. And I'm looking for something a bit different.
Yeah, Brock is actually an incredible wrestler, an incredible seller.
Yeah.
That gets looked past a lot. The Finn Balor match, the AJ match. That Goldberg-Brock match is one of my favourite in the last 5 years. But it's the way he's booked. Like it's. I've gotten into the place now where I'm hating the game, not the player.
Yeah.
Brock is a master player, but if his deal was this much money, this many dates, like that's WWE's fault for offering it to him. It's WWE's fault for putting the belt on him when they know he's not going to be around all that time.
Yeah.
If he's not around all the time, use him as a special attraction, and he would. I don't think people would hate him as much.
No, I think you're completely right. And I remember when we were talking about, you could watch our Money in the Bank reactions, me and Laurie. Laurie was very upset. I found the whole thing quite hysterical, really, because it was like, well, of course Brock won. Of course Brock's Money in the Bank.
Super Arabia.
And then I was a bit down on it. And then when I saw the GIFs of him bopping around with it like a beatbox, I was like, this is why they've done this. Is brilliant. I actually love this.
Brock Party.
But then WWE managed to sort of like, well, we'll get onto that, but they made me not like it anymore within the space of 1 week.
Tim Arendt says, this wildcard rule has gone out of hand. Dean Ambrose showed up in another promotion.
Certainly did. It's been all over the place.
Yeah. It's a conspiracy.
William Adams says, not even the Universal Championship can escape the pull of Baron Corbin.
It certainly can't.
Not even all the money in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, and by the way, it was Extreme Rules, not Stomping Grounds, that he was advertised against Seth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all the same show.
Yeah.
If it's not WrestleMania or SummerSlam, it's Backlash.
That June-July nebulous pay-per-view.
Could be
Stomping Grounds is Backlash. It's just been renamed, isn't it?
It could be bragging rights for all I know.
Start Recording says, I want Cesaro versus Ricochet in a best of 7 series, and then they can do a tag team.
They'll become a tag team afterwards. Yeah. Oh, well.
Just got Cesaro back as a singles wrestler. Don't do this to me. Stay away, Mick Foley.
Luke Everson says, who do you guys think Brock Lesnar will face in Saudi, if anyone?
Well, I said Big Show if he's able to do anything, or Mark Henry, or just some big dude. Is there another big dude that he can face?
Carly.
Babatunde.
Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah. Is there any like big dudes down in NXT that he can face? Like a Mansoor.
Otis Dozovic.
Mansoor's a tall guy. Maybe it could be him. Or
he's cashing him.
Or maybe even better, a smaller guy. Put him in there with a Ricochet, and just have like Ricochet and him have a fun match.
Like that wrestler with no legs who was at AEW.
Damian Thomas, there you go.
Hartley Reaper says Roman and Brock ruined it prior to Baron leaving Smack.
I think they're talking about the title of this video is Baron Corbin ruining Raw's main event, and they're saying no, Roman and Brock ruined it. No, I'd much rather Roman and Brock than Baron at this point.
Yeah.
I'm longing for those days.
Jobber JJ back in with an idea for the boom case. Boom case?
Yeah.
The boom case, yeah. Rock's boom boxing, and R-Truth comes out and dance breaks, and Brock just booms him and wins the 24/7 championship.
I think you'll find it's actually a beast box. That's what they were calling it.
Oh, they were calling it a beast box. Christ.
Yeah. Well, that's why they've made me hate this now.
Yeah.
Because they've started to put gimmicks on it.
Brock Party. But Brock Party is a great T-shirt.
Great T-shirt. But he's now got a beast box.
It's a money in a boombox.
It's taken something that got over organically and then just burying it and just forcing it down and making it not cool anymore.
I like the idea, though, of Brock winning the 24/7 title.
Lars is winning it.
Who would be able to beat Brock for the 24/7?
Seth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for both belts.
Yeah.
All the belts in Saudi Arabia.
We don't know who's in the 50-man battle royal, but I think
everyone is.
Well, it's going to have to be.
Apart from Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and all the
women. And all the women. I think they're going to have some 24/7 shenanigans in that. And they'll have
that's a good shout.
Pinned during the battle royal, and then people trying to pin him until that person gets eliminated.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been just the Money in the Bank for a while. It's because it was Monster in the Bank last year. So every time it's something.
You got to trademark it, mate.
Yeah. Robert Freilich says, I mentioned in the Super Chat during Money in the Bank that Brock would hold Money in the Bank until SmackDown moves. I would like to double down on this.
Double or nothing, mate. Absolutely.
Yep. I'm still going. It's Super Arabia on Friday.
Next Friday.
A Friday in the future.
Start Recording says, do you think AW will introduce a mid-card title at some point? Also, what would you guys call it?
I think it's too early to be. I think they're going to be quite protective of the belts that they introduce, and they don't want them to just become props for people to hold. There are 17 titles in WWE at the moment. That's too many titles.
Women's belt, top belt, tag belt, mid-card belt.
That's all you need.
I think that's fine.
But I think
that
for the
mid-card belt, I think, should be a TV title.
And I think that will come, later on. I think they will just start with those three first. Just have top titles.
Well, if you crown your world champion All Out, which it seems to be the direction between Jericho and Hangman Page, then I think the first week of TV, you have a month of tournament matches to crown that mid-card.
Yeah. And TV title, I think, is a good shout as well.
Yeah.
That's in Japanese, so I don't know what that says. Have you...
Try.
Google Translate, mate.
I will... Okay, one sec. You talk.
Well, tell us one question.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll do the other one.
The Rig says, man, I became so mentally drained during Raw.
Yeah, do you know what? When the show started, instantly I was falling asleep during
Glazed
it.
over,
Glazed
yeah.
over, really, really did.
Especially when it felt like they had the same segment coming out of an ad break where Kofi attacked Dolph and then Xavier attacked Dolph. And did Kofi attack Xavier at one point? What is life?
It did feel very repetitive. And as we kind of joked about at the start of the show, it was like, an hour before the first match, big air quotes, happened for podcast listeners, with Shane versus Lance Anoa'i. And then it felt like a long old time before we got the women's tag match. So, yeah, a lot of glazing over for this show.
It is Progress Marek in Japanese. Have you had a chance to watch Phantasmo versus Romero or Ospreay versus Bandido from Best of Super Juniors 2019?
Not yet. No, I haven't seen any of the Best of the Super Juniors. I'm good. I think I might do like a super playlist, a Best of the Super playlist, when it's all said and done.
I've got a flight on Friday and coming back Sunday. That's where I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I need to find some time to be able to do it. I could have done something yesterday, I suppose, while I was in the office on my own. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to catching up on it. Particularly because I love El Phantasmo. ELP is awesome.
I love Rocky Romero. I hear he had a cracking match.
I like Bandido.
Bandido's great, yeah.
We all like Will Ospreay too.
And Takagi, Shingo Takagi. Him.
Start recording, says Shane's back elbow looked way better than Jericho's.
Yeah, because it was real. He can't wrestle, can't pull punches.
Tomo says, do you guys know what I want? You guessed it, Randy Datsun merch. Please don't hate me, Ollie.
It should have been Andy.
Yeah. Craig Pinn says Raw feels even worse after watching Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
It was a bad show.
Yeah. It's like, it's very difficult to watch like Japanese wrestling or Ring of Honor stuff, or like when we went to see Progress at Alexandra Palace a couple of weeks ago, and that was on a Sunday, and then got up on Tuesday morning to watch Raw. It took me a while to adjust.
You've got to get your head into a different space in order to be able to watch the WWE product. And that's not like, it's a different product. It's a different wrestling product catering to a different wrestling audience.
But it's also really bad at even doing that.
That's true.
So you don't have to just switch your head one way, which I'm totally fine to do. You've then got to lower your expectations massively.
Yeah.
Like if we rated Raw and SmackDown on the same sort of ratings we give proper wrestling shows, that like it would just be poor. Or 1 out of 5, 0 out of 5.
But it's been poor for the majority of
Yeah,
2019.
exactly. Like if I was comparing that to Double or Nothing, it's not even in the same rating system.
And we said on the stream, but like Double or Nothing wasn't like the best show I've ever seen. It wasn't a 5 out of 5 show, but it was way better than every main roster WWE show this year.
Yeah,
far and away better than all of them.
How many more we got? Because we'll
Loads.
move on.
So
let's have 5 more.
You might have to explain this one to me because I don't get what he's saying. But Keith Fry says, if cheddar is money, McIntyre plus Shane equals mac and cheese.
Yeah, so cheddar it's a term for money. Show me the cheddar. Yeah.
I did not know that. Thank you for teaching me.
Well, I've called him McMahon and Tyre.
It's good, mate. I saw that in your script. It was fun.
Today's video.
That sounds like estate agents. Raw 34 says, all hail Corbin, the best heel in wrestling at the moment.
He's WrestleTalk's favourite son.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure that is a heel comment. But yeah, he is not the best heel in wrestling. He's not even the best heel in WWE.
John Marr, thank you for your donation. Derek Ayala says it's going to be Brock winning the WWE title before October, just in time for Fox. Then you'll have Roman chasing the title up to WrestleMania. Control-C, Control-V.
Well, no, you could do that. You could still have him cash in on the Fox show. Then do the November show as Brock versus Kofi in a rematch. And then you have Roman. Roman wins the Royal Rumble, and then we get Roman chasing Brock for the title at Mania.
No, Drew is the current favourite for the Royal Rumble 2020.
According to who?
Sky Bet.
By this time in the year, we usually know SummerSlam's top matches. There's nothing about that, which hints to me that Brock Lesnar's going to be involved.
Well, Brock's going to be involved in the show.
Yeah, as Universal Champion, because he's winning it next Friday, or a Friday.
Intki5252 says, IIconics growing into the best heel tag team. Yes or no?
I wouldn't say that... no, also, they never win.
Yeah, I love their act, but
they never
they're
win.
jokes
Yeah,
as in-ring competitors.
I really I'm annoyed at this company that they didn't keep up the gimmick they did on the SmackDown after Mania, where they were beating up jobbers, but pretending they were like big, legitimate, undefeated stars as a way to get heat. I thought it was a really, really good segment.
Genuinely funny.
Genuinely funny.
And actually has a weird effect where it does make you believe in them being good wrestlers.
Also means they win.
Yeah.
And it, as you said at the time, it gives them an Edge and Christian vibe. And that's a really good thing to have in your women's tag team division. A division they have clearly forgotten about. Mm-hmm. Absolutely could not care about at all. So I love them, but they never win, so I don't think you can say they're the best heels.
And lastly, and I'm afraid, Mohammed, I'm going to say you're missing the point here, but why are you so outraged about Saudi Arabia and WWE for the women's division? Shouldn't WWE respect the rules and culture in any host country?
It's a tricky one to get into.
For me, it's a double standard thing. I don't think you can push this women's revolution, whatever branding it is this week, and then go to a place where you can't have that, but still then say we are still pushing women's wrestling, and we women's wrestling is our big goal for 2019 and 2020. I think it's double standards.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia let women drive recently. Well done. But they also locked up a lot of women activists for asking for more rights. So, yeah. But the whole show, let's get on with the full Raw. We started off with a Memorial Day video package, which was very well done. Memorial Day is a bank holiday. Well, it's like a US bank holiday.
This is why I think the show was the way it was. It was a let's not bother trying. No one's watching TV
holiday
anyway.
Edition.
It's going up against the big football game. We're not going to try because no one's going to watch anyway.
Unless they thought they were doing a good job.
Which is always possible.
Then we got Brock Lesnar shown backstage, and that really set up a theme of the night where, rather than, here is the segment, and it will play out until the end, it was actually, here's a thing happening over here, here's a thing happening over here, now we've got this segment, here's a little thing over here. And I'm for that, and I really liked it when they started doing it with SmackDown, I believe, last year. But it's gotten a bit ridiculous now. Where they advertise, I'm like, oh yeah, Firefly Fun House is coming up later. And then 4 segments, or you're like, well, what? These people just walked down to the ring about 10 minutes ago. And then you've cut back to the Usos block party.
What they've been doing.
Yeah. So it just makes me question the reality of what I'm watching, which isn't what you need when it's essentially a fabricated, predetermined show.
Did you hear Brock Lesnar's new nickname as well?
No.
Oh, you'll love this one. The Purveyor of Paranoia.
But Heyman said that, right?
Yeah, but that's what also they're calling him in their YouTube videos as well now. So it is the new nickname for Brock Lesnar, is the Purveyor of Paranoia.
Purveyor sounds like you're going to survey a house.
That's exactly what I thought. I'm pretty sure I had a purveyor come round when I was buying my house. And I paid him a lot of money and I didn't like him.
Yeah. No, I don't have underground car park. It's worth less than that. So yeah, we got Brock Lesnar set up at the start of the show. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll pay off on what they promised, that Brock will announce a cash-in target. And then Kofi Kingston came out, he threw some pancakes around, and there was a video package about Dolph Ziggler attacking him last week.
I genuinely forgot that happened.
Yeah, so did I,
Yeah.
It's AEW was a nice palate cleanser.
It really was. When they showed the video package, I was like, Oh, yeah. Dolph Ziggler returned last week. Genuinely, completely emptied my mind.
So then Kofi said in his in-ring promo, Kevin Owens took out Big E's knee last week.
Right? What was that all about?
When was that confirmed?
I thought Dolph took him out. I thought that was the whole thing, is that Dolph attacked him backstage, and then that meant that Woods was backstage, so that Kofi was on his own, so Ziggler could attack Kofi in the ring.
But they never paid off on like, they never said Ziggler did it. It was implied, sure. Yeah. So for Kofi to then really adamantly say, no, it was Kevin Owens, I'm like, and who hung up Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank?
We still don't know. I'm guessing it was Brock, right?
No, I don't know.
Did Heyman say it wasn't?
Heyman said, like, he said it was a conspiracy theory that you think that, which
Sin
could
Cara.
just be a heel thing to say, we did do it. You're crazy for thinking that we did.
Yeah.
Or it could be they never really thought about it.
It's like the Raw GM all over again. It was Hornswoggle.
So then Kofi said that Brock should cash in on him because he wants to be the best champion. Now, I have issue with this motivation. I feel like Seth and Kofi are both approaching Brock's briefcase win as, oh, no, come over here, and let's have a match with me, when really they should be saying, no, I'm going to beat you so you don't have this just cloud over WWE again.
I think that's Seth's motivation.
But he hasn't said that either.
I think him storming out of this segment, and then later on when he was like, you're a joke. You're treating this like a joke. And this isn't a joke to me. This is my life. I think that's actually... I liked Seth's motivation in this, which would be a shame then if he is cashing in on Fox and he cashed in on Kofi.
Yeah. But like, it's quite obvious that Kofi is in a feud with Ziggler. So the Brock Lesnar stuff of, oh, who am I going to go for? I'm like, that's clearly... I guess Seth's in a feud with Baron, so...
But is he, though?
Yeah.
Corbin was just announced as a contender.
Yeah.
They didn't have a segment or anything.
So Brock actually comes out. Third time in 9 days. Unprecedented times we're living in. And any ill will I think anyone had towards Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was immediately pushed aside, because he walked out here with the boombox, the briefcase, which actually had speakers on, dancing, smiling, walked down into the ring. He's got a T-shirt that says Brock Party on, and then he does this goofy dance.
Yeah.
That is simultaneously very funny and terrifying. It was amazing.
Okay, so I half agree with you, but I half disagree. The clips and everything I saw last week, when he was just coming down and he was bopping away to the briefcase, I was like, that's brilliant. This segment reeked of, Vince saw that and was like, pal, that was great, but I'll make it better. What we need to do is we need to put speakers on the briefcase itself, and we'll have you come down to the ring, but we'll stop your music to play beatbox music for you to dance to. And then you'll change the tracks on it to play Kofi's music, and you'll change the tracks on it to play Seth's music. And then when they called it the Beast Box, I was like, you've made this uncool. You took this naturally cool thing and have made it uncool. It was a 70-year-old thinking he was doing something cool, and it was, how do you do, fellow kids? It was very, very uncool, and it made me not enjoy it anymore.
When he played other people's entrance music, it jarred with me a bit. But I just, the visual of Brock dancing, this hateable, goofy grin on his face, it's made me invested in Lesnar as a heel, like my heat goes towards him, rather than the company of being like, why do you keep booking him?
I think it would be fine. I would have kept this segment exactly how it was, but without the music changes, and Beast Box.
They're calling it the Beast Box. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you'd have just, even him putting his own decals on it to make it look like a boombox, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, because that does feel like a really knobbish thing to do. If that was a Brock decision. This all feels very WWE, though, and that makes it instantly uncool.
It's not fitting in Lesnar's character. Like, if you look at Lesnar's trajectory from the last 8 years, nothing would have you believe he's going to start coming down to the ring dancing to a beatbox.
Oh, yeah.
Or a boombox,
but it is
what people call them.
It's the best thing he's done since the mariachi band.
It feels like a rejuvenation of his character, so I'm behind it. What actually jarred with me more, and this is nitpicking, when Paul Heyman started to air guitar along with Rollins' music, and Lesnar was like, no, don't do that. And then later on, they have another, what are you talking about moment. I've got no interest in seeing an odd couple relationship between Heyman and Lesnar. I think they're a lot more effective when they're on the same page.
It's a ruse. Remember last time? It's to make you think they're splitting up, but they're not.
Oh, Brock beat Paul up so you could think they were breaking up, and then the week before the match, it can all lead into Heyman pepper spraying Roman. Well, that's a genius idea.
It's all going to lead to Heyman pepper spraying Rollins at Saudi Arabia Showdown.
Yeah.
Or throwing the contract at him or something.
Yeah, paper cuts. You got Jimmy Havoc, AEW. So Seth had had enough of this and he just walked off. So Lesnar also walks off, postponing his announcement yet again. And then Dolph Ziggler attacks Kofi for the next 40 minutes.
This was a long time.
Well, this was so long that Xavier ran down to save him. Then they went to break, and then it came back, and Dolph runs down to attack Xavier.
Brawling.
And then they went to break again, and Kofi and Xavier in the ring, and Dolph walks up on the stage
To cut a promo.
and cuts another promo.
You can tell how glazed over I was in this show because I've written here, Seth attacks Kofi. And I thought to myself, did he? Crikey.
So Dolph, in his promo, actually had some blood smeared over his body. So someone must have got cut open, and he thought, hey, Cody just left it on his body. Because, even when Rhodes came out after the Double or Nothing thing, he refused to shower, so he still had his brother's blood on him for the visual. Gross, but awesome. That's exactly what Dusty Rhodes would have done back in the day.
Yeah.
But Ziggler had a few bits of blood on him, and I can't help but think maybe he was trying to capture a little bit of that magic.
Yeah. But anyway, he cuts this promo and says that Kofi's been worrying about Brock. You should be worrying about me. I'm going to win at Super Showdown. You said that Kofi's always had friends. I've always defended you, Kofi. But what happens to those fans who look up to you when I take your title? It should have been me.
Should have been me.
Yeah.
And this didn't go anywhere for the rest of the show.
No.
So
3 wild cards
at the moment.
at the moment. Okay. I just think it's always good to keep track of.
Yeah. Then we got, because one Brock party isn't enough, they legit did, in the next segment, the Usos block party.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you were talking about overkilling something and making uncool. When I saw that the Usos were having a block party, and they actually called it a block party, I thought, what? Do you have no quality control over the segments in your show?
Yeah.
There's a clash here.
It was a holiday show type thing where you have a backstage segment where people are having a party and it's all the locker room having fun together, with the exception of EC3, who looks bloody miserable.
It's not all the locker room. It's most definitely the
the losers. Yeah.
undercard of the locker room.
The people who are going for the 24/7 title, which is pretty much everyone who's not in the main event picture.
So the undercard locker room, some of the female wrestlers, and then just some random women.
Yeah.
There were just random women there.
Hey, you don't know. They might be on the roster.
Yeah, that's a good point. They could have been called up somewhere. Then we got Shane McMahon comes out with Drew McIntyre, looks at the crowd and goes, nah, and Lacey Evans is it, and walks out. And then we go to an Orton versus Triple H video package.
Yeah. And then when we come back, Shane's in the ring. So he then made his entrance during the promo video and then got into the ring to cut a promo.
So this is what I was talking about at the start, where I like how they're keeping the show feel really dynamic, where here's a segment, here's a segment, here's a segment. This was the wrong way to do that. It just leaves me confused as a viewer.
Do you know what my question is? Why didn't Drew want to be part of the Fatal 4-Way? Isn't his whole character motivation to win the title?
On the Shane.
And beat up Seth.
Yeah.
So why is he then being a second to the Omni Shane when there's a Fatal 4-Way going on for him to become the number 1 contender for the title he wants to win?
Elimination
Fatal 4-Way for the title that he really wants to, he's desperate to win.
Yeah, I've got no answer for you. Yeah, it's a massive oversight. And so Shane cuts a promo about Roman's family, about how they're disrespectful. The crowd were bored here because
you can say that for the majority of this show.
Because we're an hour into the show now. They've just watched Dolph Ziggler beat up Kofi for 40 minutes, and they're like, oh, "Okay, we're going to get a match now." Oh, it's Shane McMahon. which should feel like a big deal. He doesn't wrestle on TV that much.
Ratings, mate. Ratings bump. That's what we're looking for.
So he says he brings out a member of the Anoa'i family, Roman's cousin, Lance.
Lance Anoa'i, wearing a Roman t-shirt like an absolute geek. Doesn't even have his own merch. Corey says that he's going to be the breakout star of the Anoa'i dynasty.
Really?
Yeah.
They've had quite a few.
They have,
I don't know when you can stop saying that.
But this was less of a match. It was more of an angle. And Aaron just shows like Kevin Nash booked this. And Drew starts beating Lance up around ringside. And I did like Shane being like, no, Drew, stop. Oh.
That's enough now.
That's enough now. Oh, no, he's like, there he goes. Very sarcastically trying to get Drew to stop. And then he gets rolled into the ring. Shane throws some potatoes and hits the Judas effect and locks in the triangle and wins. The Judas effect was definitely meant to be a potted shot.
Yeah. And then they continued to beat up Lance after the match. And about 30 seconds into that beatdown, Roman Reigns' music hits.
I was like, where were you dick?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, your cousin was being beaten hither and yonder, and you were just stood in the back watching.
Yeah, fair enough, you didn't come out immediately. I guess because Lance was like, no, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't need you out there ringside for me. I'm writing your stuff for you here, your motivation for you. But when Drew starts beating them up, Roman should come down here.
And try and stop this. Because he quite effectively stopped this when he did eventually come down.
Why was Reigns not in his corner from the start?
Yeah.
And Drew was there.
Poor old Lance.
What did he think was going to happen?
I felt very bad for Lance.
So that was rubbish. The music did wake up the crowd, though. Roman's entrance.
Yeah.
Superman punched everyone.
I had that with Becky's music later on. Like, all of a sudden I felt myself sit up in my chair go, oh, God, yeah. Watch it roll.
Then we got the second Brock promo of the night. Because we just had a whole minute of wrestling. Back to the in-ring promo stuff.
Time for promo time.
And they came down with a referee this time. They pretend they're going to cash in right now. Seth Rollins comes out. Heyman starts reading through the contract, and there's a clause in there where it says you've got up to a year. Brock grabs the contract, sort of buffs pull with it, and says, I've got a whole year? I don't have to. You told me I had to decide tonight. Lol. And then he walks off.
I really liked that. I like Brock not knowing what the rules are, and then suddenly finding out, I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to make it. I've got a whole year. Oh, I'm not doing it now then. This is hilarious. I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing.
You got your homework.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I've got till next month. Oh, brilliant.
It was funny, but if you just look at it or think about it for a second, it falls apart completely.
That's your problem right there.
Yeah, that's my. I'm just holding it to a higher standard of making sense, because Brock had the Money in the Bank briefcase cashed in on him by Seth Rollins.
He doesn't know they're the same person. That lad had yellow hair. He
had a little bit of yellow hair.
Yeah, but it's a different bloke, isn't it?
So I thought I was just, although it was funny, I was more infuriated than laughing. And then Seth is just left there like a lemon in the ring. So what happens here? Really, I guess, it's a hard thing to write yourself out of because it's pretty crap. So I guess Seth just runs after him and brawls. Right? But they don't know how to end the segment. So, thankfully, they've got a 24/7 title that they can now use as a segment booking crutch whenever they like, oh, I don't know how to end this. Boom, R-Truth runs in, and then a load of jobbers chase after him.
Absolutely.
So lazy.
So yeah, Truth runs through the crowd with Carmella, so I guess they are the 4th and 5th wild cards of the evening.
No, the 24/7 title is transferable. They're like the IIconics.
So Carmella's 4 then. She's not the champion.
Carmella's 4, yeah.
Yeah. And they get chased by the undercard. I was really sad that Cedric Alexander was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I see certain wrestlers in these segments, I just feel bad for them. It's like when Robert Roode won it, I was like, I don't want you to be winning this belt. I want you to be way above this belt.
When I saw them, I just thought, well, who's at the Usos party then?
Everyone
just
left.
run out.
That's right, they all went back.
After this, we got AJ Styles backstage in a trainer's room with Charlie Caruso. Charlie Caruso's like, why are you so sad, you stupid dumb face? And AJ goes, I really hurt my back.
Yeah.
I can't wrestle for a bit.
Is it because it's dumb?
Is it because you've got a dumb, stupid back?
AJ, what are you doing here?
And Baron Corbin runs in and punches him in the face.
Which makes me think that Corbin's feuding with AJ. And we're going to lead to a AJ Corbin match at Stomping Ground or Backlash or whichever one it is that's coming up next.
Extreme Ground.
There you go.
Stomping rules.
Capital Punishment, whichever pay-per-view they got next. And so we can then just do this as a one-off thing with Corbin, and we can move him on into other quote-unquote main event programs.
PW Insider reported that Styles wasn't actually here.
Yes.
This was taped in advance.
Well, Meltzer said that he was there because I think that report came up before Raw had aired, but he was banged up. That's their reports. They don't know the injury, but he's just banged up, which is actually what Meltzer's been reporting for the majority of this year, saying that he's looking to take some time off after Mania because he's hurt at the moment. He's working hurt. Which Styles denied, but I think it looks to be he is taking some time off now. Not a massive amount of time, though.
Then we got Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross versus the IIconics. And Becky Lynch, her music, the crowd reacted great to her. And I was like, because Becky Lynch came out, then ad break, then the IIconics were there. And I was like, oh, okay, so what match is this? And I was like, oh, there's Nikki Cross. Where's Alexa Bliss? So Alexa Bliss isn't here. So Cross is normal Cross again. And I just thought it was... She's Ember Moon, isn't she?
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. They've had a lot of time to try and figure this out, and this is what they've come up with.
And it was an okay match with a debut finish from Becky Lynch.
What's it called?
The Manhandle Slam.
See, I thought it was just the Man Slam. That's what they'd said, but it's the Manhandle Slam.
The Pump Handle Man.
Oh, for God's sake.
It could have been good if she had jumped with the move because it just looked like Peyton Royce fell over.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's a rubbish rock bottom.
Yeah, it's rubbish rock bottom. But first time taking it, maybe that was more Peyton than Becky.
And I said this on Twitter as well. I'm just glad she's got a slam-based finisher rather than always having to rely on tap-out finishes. I think having a slam-based or an impact-based move is also good to have in your repertoire and that people can get behind. So I'm all for that. Not behind the IIconics losing all the time, but it is. I almost want to try and find all those people that said that you and I were being so negative when we said that Becky's lost all momentum because look at her now.
You know what I want to do? I want to find all the people who said, no, Lacey Evans is a good idea. She won't get stuck in a feud with Becky Lynch over the Raw Women's title for the next 3 months.
Hello, right here.
Yeah, okay, nice to meet you too. So that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, and Lacey Evans walked out at the end of this match, did a Shane McMahon, and just walked back out again.
Allow me to say, I was wrong. I genuinely thought this would be a 1 month thing. But then again, I thought we were getting Becky 2 belts for a while because there was money to be made there. There was stuff you could do there. But no, apparently they just wanted her to be Becky 1 belt and feud with Lacey Evans for eternity. Yeah. So I was wrong.
We cut back to the Usos party after this. Naomi and Tamina square off.
No one huggier than Tamina by the looks of things.
And I thought, hello, looks like we're going to get a proper feud here. Something everyone wants to see. Naomi versus Tamina. The former welcoming committee Tamina.
The welcoming committee implodes.
Oh. And no, Naomi was never in the welcoming committee.
No, was she on the other side?
No, they were part of a classic feud.
They were part of Team Bad, though.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, with Sasha Banks, right?
Yeah.
I think it was those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll Google that live.
And Naomi, they ended up hugging, so Tamina face turn. I forgot Nia Jax existed.
Yeah.
And
it was Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks.
That's saying something because I love Nia Jax. She's my best friend.
She is your best friend, but Tamina babyface turn. It's the one thing we didn't really need because we have a distinct lack of female heels. It's Lacey Evans now. I think is the only heel they've got on that roster because Alexa's a babyface now, right?
It depends. Yeah, that flip flops a lot. Then the Revival show up. Naomi says that she invited them because this is a wrestling show. Everyone should get on. Let's squash the beef by playing
Cornhole.
Party games. Cornhole, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I played it in Canada. It's a great game.
What is it?
So you have a beanbag and you have a board and there's a hole in the end and the idea is to get the beanbag into the hole. But you can also get the beanbags onto the board and then use your other beanbags to knock them into the hole. But you don't want to knock your opponent's beanbags into the hole either.
Okay. Well,
It's good.
I've
yeah.
played it, it's good.
Out of that and the great Usos revival TV match last week, I think I want to see the wrestling match rather than the cornhole one.
No? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a quick Google of cornhole. There's apparently some really good videos for it on YouTube.
Ricochet versus Cesaro next, which was a cracking bout.
Absolutely it was.
Only took us hour 45 to get into it.
Crowd were dead, though. Could not have cared less, by the looks of
Because
it.
they've been killed by in-ring segment after in-ring segment. The last week's match seemed to be very good, but the majority of it was in commercial breaks. You'll appreciate this because you have to go through the image galleries. The TV match lasted 5 minutes and probably 8 moves. I went on to the WWE.com gallery, 52 images. Because it was an incredible match, but they didn't put it on TV.
Oh, no. But no one wants to see the wrestling. They want to see promos. I want to see the soap opera storylines.
Anyway, this was so good.
get a good mix of.
Like the relationship between Cesaro and Ricochet in terms of Cesaro being allowed to do these, like he's a good base to throw people up in the air and Ricochet can actually physically fly. And there were so many inventive moves. My favourite, I know the finish was very inventive and a lot of people are talking about that, but I loved Ricochet missing his 630 because Cesaro rolled out the way. He gets up and Cesaro's already running into him and hits this uppercut.
Oh, it was beautiful. Loved it. Absolutely awesome.
It was a really good match. Ricochet won, 50-50 booking. Cesaro won last week. Ricochet was selling his Money in the Bank injuries then. But like these two guys are so good, they should be building towards a pay-per-view match together. And in the interim, they have matches against other guys where they win.
We got this with Rey and Andrade last year, where it was just, or was it this year? Rey and Andrade having these series of really good matches on TV that we kept thinking was going to build to a pay-per-view match that just never happened. And I think that's what we're getting again here. They're just going to have matches, and it's not going to build to anything.
Yeah. US title announcement, we've already referred to it. They were meant to, Rey Mysterio was advertised last week to come out and give a state of the US title address because he's got a shoulder injury. He was going to vacate it. But that didn't happen.
Not even an explanation. They just pretended that was never announced last week and just said, oh yeah, it's happening next week.
Yeah. But Joe came out and said, well, he'll give it to me and do the right thing, which makes Joe look stupid as well. Why can't Joe just come out and say, no, you said it was going to be this week?
Because
Ray's scared of me.
Because they're pretending it didn't get announced last week.
But if you had to drop it for whatever reason, and God knows there was a lot of stuff you could have cut on this show to make time for it if it was a timing issue, then you could have turned that into a story.
That's not the point. They just wanted you to forget that it happened. Probably wasn't on the Hulu version.
So Usos were playing games with the Revival, and then Miz reveals he's having a baby girl, and then we got the four-way match, which we've already talked about.
I've just written here, Sami Zayn on the electric chair? ?
Is that next? Oh, right, yeah.
Because they advertised it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? Sami Zayn on the electric chair.
The Syrian guy. Before the show in Saudi Arabia.
Oh. Anyway, do you want to talk about Firefly Fun House? Let's skip past that.
Yeah. Well, actually, before that, the Revival and the Usos were still playing games. R-Truth runs in, and everyone tries to pin him. And that's the end of that Usos block party run of skits.
Yeah. Well, it ends with Dawson. He cheated. No. It was in that segment.
Right. So Dawson cheated, but then R-Truth ran in.
Oh, yeah, but it was all to say, again, don't know how to end this segment.
Yes.
It's all right, we'll just have a wild truth of it.
Exactly. But then, yes, the Firefly Fun House, which, low-key, I think is one of the best ones they've done.
Yeah. This was so great. This is awesome.
So, off of the back of the Fiend reveal last week, his new... Was that last week? Or it was just
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It was just like an extended opening credit sequence last week. Bray is back in the Firefly Funhouse set, which I keep calling Flunhouse. And it really, I had to retake that so many times in today's review. And Bray's, like, he's got a paper plate over his face with the Fiend drawn on it. He reveals that it's called the Fiend, and the Fiend is here to protect us. And everyone finds it hard to be confident and brave, don't they?
Be brave.
Yeah, but when I'm the Fiend, I can do anything. And then this is where I really thought this stepped up a level of complexity. where Sister Abigail starts kind of having a moan at Bray. And Bray goes over and's like, "Oh, what are you talking about, Sister Abigail?" And up until now, Abigail has been quite a bullying force. And Bray even turns into a doctor and says, "Oh, your diagnosis is you're a bully." And then Abigail goes, "I just want to rest. Just let me rest." And then it completely changes the dynamic, where Abigail hasn't been the one tormenting Bray. It's been Bray who's been keeping these spirits or whatever inside his head, refusing to let them go because he's insane.
Yeah. It's really, really great stuff.
I thought it was amazing. And then Abigail complained of being in limbo, and Bray's like, "Did someone say limbo?" I can appreciate a segue. And then out of nowhere, two kids are just holding a pole.
Oh, one of the kids is so small. He's basically on his tiptoes with his hands above his head trying to hold it up.
And Bray I'm like, I completely forgot this could have happened. He was so smart. I just thought he was going to do a Hermes-style limbo thing. But he didn't. He did the old crab walk from his Wyatt family days, the creepy reverse crab walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It was rad. It was really, really great. As you say, I love that stuff with Abby, the complexity that is sort of added to this, and it adds like a whole more terrifying layer to this whole ordeal. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny as well because it's the Fiend is almost like Demon Balor. In the sense that Balor always says, "I become a different person when I'm the demon." But they've never really given a reason for that. Previously, it was just that I do this because it's a pay-per-view. And then it was like, no, it's a character piece. But we won't actually do any character piece behind it. We'll just say, you are the demon now. You bring it out for special occasions like Baron Corbin, but not Brock Lesnar. But this here, it all feels like it makes sense. That he has to become this character in order to be brave and find his confidence. And that's really interesting. I loved it. That was great.
Yeah. It's consistently one of the best things in WWE. And surprise, surprise, it's one of the only things they've handed creative control over largely to the wrestler and a few producers.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. The key to that is it's the wrestler that's driving it.
Something that seems to have come directly from the mind of Vince McMahon, though, is what we had next. Corey Graves' new segment, because it's the third hour of Raw, it's a little bit mean, it's a little bit dirty, as Mick Foley promised last week, and a little bit underlit in the crowd. And
also, the Raw Titantron is now black.
Oh, really?
With red text.
I didn't
And it's also on the LED board as well.
So it is, the third hour is Raw After Dark.
Yeah.
And in Vince's mind, presumably, ooh, scary, here's an old school electric chair with the straps and the thing you put on your head.
I thought they were going to strap him into it.
I thought. So the idea is Corey Graves hosts an in-ring segment where a different WWE star comes down every week, sits in this electric chair, and the audience are allowed to ask any question. And you have all the WWE backstage interviewers you could have hoped for. Charlie Caruso was in the crowd. Kayla Braxton was in the crowd. Not Renee Young was in the crowd. It was amazing. I've never seen them all together in the same place. I always thought there was a possibility they might have been the same person.
Oh, yeah.
So this was wonderful proof. However, when they said the electric chair, I just assumed, oh, okay, I see where this is going. If they don't answer a question properly, they'll get shocked.
That's what I thought they might do. I was going to say, when I saw the three of them were there together, it did make me think of just like, how is he going to do this alone? He's got help.
Yeah.
And they had like the Avengers around with him.
But they didn't even do that.
No. Okay, so here's the deal with this. According to Meltzer and Alvarez, they were real fans. They were not planted fans. So they were genuine fans, but the question that they asked was screened ahead of time. So they would say, like, what question are you going to ask?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask this. Okay, that's fine. We've vet that. And then just got to hope that they then don't change their mind and ask something else, which I really feel is a recipe for disaster.
Chris Benoit's happening.
Oh, Chris Benoit Hall of Fame.
One of my favourite things ever is just before NXT TakeOver London, because we were there and everyone was like, everyone's got to be quiet for Triple H's, because it was when he used to do the welcome to NXT or whatever he used to say, and everything was dark and then the lights would come up and everyone was playing really, they were really well behaved. Everyone was silent. 5, 4, 3, 2. Chris Benoit! It's like just one guy yells.
But it also reminds me, we had an email in from one of our regular Podswafters, Jaron Walker, who said that at I think it was the Raw after WrestleMania, they were doing this whole thing where they were going around and like interviewing people with signs, and they like brought up people with signs to get like, who are you cheering for today? And there was someone who had a sign that said, "Is it too soon to start booing Roman?" And they obviously hadn't vetted that sign ahead of time, and they're like, "Well, quickly, let's move past this one. Nothing else." So the questions were vetted ahead of time. That's why they were, when is your retirement date? Do you miss ginger snaps?
That one was cute because that one was from a young girl. And that was, I forgot ginger snaps was a thing. It was Sami and Becky in Mixed Match Challenge. She was probably the only person who watched it.
They found that one person, that person on Facebook watch.
But she tried to go into business for herself.
Yeah, she got promoted. The crowd popped for it, but I didn't know what she said.
Right. So from what I can tell happened, she asked that, and Sami was like, blah, blah, blah.
Where are your parents?
Yeah, just trash talked her. And then it cut back to them, and she tried to say something, but Kayla Braxton was like, no!
Enough of you, kid.
Yeah, you're not allowed to speak.
She held up her title belt and everything.
That poor Kayla, must be thinking, I'm going to get fired if this girl talks anymore.
Dasher got fired for saying the word wrong. I can't lose this job.
You are in a position where you either steal a microphone out of a girl's hand or are at risk of insane backstage heat from the crowd. Imagine if the girl just said, "What about AEW? You ginger prick."
Well, we are in that third hour. Yeah. And we got someone said, what does it feel when Braun Strowman destroys you? Woo. And then the last guy sort of forgot his question and then said, why have you not won the title yet?
Because he's not booked that way. Please. Obviously, don't say Chris Benoit. I think that's too far. But if anyone gets into this program...
Is it too soon to start booing Roman?
That's too much as well. But I can't... Yeah, but comment below or in the super chat... Just what do you think would be the best nice troll that we could do? Support WrestleTalk.
Yeah, support WrestleTalk is good. But anyway, the key to all of this is that Sami said, you could ask me anything you want. You could have asked me what kind of lover I am. I'm a very gentle one, as it happens. You could ask me anything you want. You could ask me about AEW. And the crowd went, whoa, and a small portion did an AEW chant. And... the story goes is that this was scripted. This was signed off. This was written by a writer. Vince signed off on it, and Sami was told to say this. However, Brian Alvarez was told by a different writer that it wasn't scripted and it was off the cuff. And then what they've just what they're speculating is that WWE have told the writers, who they know are leaking things to the dirt sheets, tell them it's not scripted. And we're also telling the boys in the back that it's not scripted as well. We're trying to work everyone and create this sort of work environment where people think that you can just sort of say these things and you might not get in trouble or something along these lines. But to quote the writer that told Meltzer that it was scripted, he called it so effing stupid. Because that's why they're doing this.
It was such a weird moment. Because I thought, okay, so he said the letters. Now he's going to say something nasty about them. Or someone else is going to do something. This is of course they would. Because Triple H, they destroyed the guy's throne. You can't destroy a man's throne.
Yeah.
And they never followed up on it, not with a negative slight or anything. So it was just free advertising. And WWE, still to this day, very rarely say TNA. That is a very recent thing.
I said it once.
Long after TNA have ceased to be a threat. But AEW is really quite a real threat. And it's got a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And it's 2 days after their first official show.
But I also think where you screen questions, I think this is actually kind of smart in a way. You screen questions to make sure they're all WWE based. And then the last thing you have the guys say is no one thought to ask me about AEW. Because then to that audience it perceives, no one was even conscious of what AEW is, which is why they didn't ask.
Well, I don't think that is smart. I think that's actually very dumb because it's just going to make people Google it and find the product.
My point is that So then to the sort of casual eye,
Yeah.
it looks like, well, none of these people know what it is anyway, so why would I care?
I don't- yeah.
I think that's the theory behind it.
Yeah, I don't. I could see how someone would come to that understanding, like or like that be their aim, but I don't think it's a good idea.
No,
Not
I
even
wouldn't-
slightly.
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very weird. Seth Rollins then came down immediately because one of the questions was, why haven't you won the Universal Championship yet? And Sami was like, I can win it whenever. So Seth comes down to fight Sami Zayn. He throws the chair out the ring, probably like, not doing that again.
Well, Renee did say, well, that's that segment done. We only had one of them.
Right, so is that it?
Well, that's what. Well, I'm only going by what Renee said, which granted is, I'm not sure that's worth the paper it's printed on. But
I said we haven't really talked about it, but it's got to be intentional, right? That the electric chair, Sami Zayn, Super Showdown on Friday.
no, I just think they think it's like, Ernest Goes to Jail. It's just it's dark and gritty.
Well, then someone should have
Look at
said.
the Green Mile.
Someone should have said, "Do you think this is a bad idea? Do you think this isn't the best PR look for us?"
I guarantee you, someone did.
I just look.
Shut up, pal. Take your Emmy off the table.
In politics, everyone is so worried about being photographed with the wrong thing behind them. And if you've got a very politically sensitive situation like you have with WWE going to Saudi Arabia, to the extent where Saudi Arabia is not allowed to be said on WWE TV, it's all Super Showdown this. They don't mention
International show.
Yeah, they don't mention the country anymore. Then to run an angle with the guy who isn't going to Saudi Arabia, reportedly because of his Syrian descent, and to put him in a form of corporal punishment, I just think it's very short-sighted. Like, maybe you didn't mean it intentionally, but then you should go, oh, people could make fun of us, or John Oliver could easily do half an hour on this. Mm-hmm. Like, what? But how do you not see that and just go, oh, let's just do it something else?
Yeah.
Just call it the hot seat and have a very hot seat.
Anyway, it led to our main event, which was Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. Crowd were pretty quiet for this one,
Yeah.
but they went long. They had a good match. It was just in front of a crowd that couldn't care because they'd been given a very, very lackluster show.
Plus, and I thought, yeah, of course, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins are going to have at least an average to very good match. But Sami hasn't won anything. The only time he's won, to my recollection, that matters is when Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre did it for him. And he has no wrestling momentum. He's got a lot of promo momentum, and I think his character's on fire at the moment. But in terms of wins, he's done absolutely nothing. No. So why would you suddenly buy him in a match against the Universal Champion?
And taking him to the limit as well.
Yeah.
And getting him on one. Granted, Seth injured his own leg, but Sami was then targeting that leg and doing the figure four and things like that and going after it. Yeah, no, I think you're right. But yeah, the crowd absolutely just could not care. I did like Seth doing his one-legged frog splash, though. I thought that was pretty smart. And Sami getting the knees up. Sort of nice stuff in this. And then Sami rolls back in the ring and gets hit by the stomp, and you have Rollins shout, "This is my life," and then he hits the stomp for the win. Key to this, though, is that at the start of the match, they showed Brock Lesnar was still backstage with his Beast Box.
Backstage. They filmed him. And then, like, you got 3 minutes of me? Yeah, cool, I'm going home now.
Yeah.
Just play that intermittently throughout the night.
It's like a Scooby-Doo background.
Yes.
You just got the one thing, we'll just rotoscope it round.
I bet if you watch it back, it was probably the same clip.
That's what I mean. Plant pop.
Yeah,
Plant pop. Picture frame. And anyway, yeah, and so they were teasing throughout this whole match. They were really hammering home this point. Brock could cash in. Brock, stick with us, folks. Brock Lesnar could cash in here. You've got to stick around. Brock Lesnar might cash in here. And that's why they kept setting up throughout that whole era that Brock's still here. And then Seth just wins and the show ends. And that was it.
Yeah. That's the show. The only other thing I'd add is I'd like Seth to sell the shoulder once. Something other than the knee. I'm a bit over Seth selling the knee in the match.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking while we were chatting away about that, though? I was really thinking back to Cody and the Throne. And I was just thinking, like, it's just He-Man, isn't it? It's literally like Cody Rhodes is He-Man going up against the King of Kings, Skeletor. And over the Throne of Eternia.
The Skeleton King. So I thought it was a pretty atrocious show, but nothing offended me to the extent where I would give it a 1 out of 5.
I was just bored.
Yeah, so I went 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd have probably said 2 out of 5. A high bore.
Let's rattle through some super chats, Randy Andy
Yes, we
Datsun.
have genuinely more than we've ever had.
Oh, nice.
So let's be very quick. Kian Harvey starts us off with AW equals change the world, Raw equals change the channel.
I've seen a lot of people say that's good.
That's a good catchphrase.
I like it.
AEW should run with that.
Yeah.
Raw 34 says, okay, so MJF is the best heel, but Corbin is second.
No.
Oh, no, they're not even on the same level. I mean, Samoa Joe's a better heel than Corbin. There's plenty more.
Yeah.
And I like Corbin.
Ray Kiri says, Brock and Baron gave me dysentery. That is all.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
Robert Harmon says, could we see a Brock title unification story? Ugh.
Oh, what, with both the Universal and WWE titles? No, I don't think so. I mean, unless the networks demand it.
Yeah, just one title. And that's what it's going to be. Okay. It's like USA and Fox decide that they want that.
And then you could have the top champion not on either show.
Josh Paulson says, Sami Zayn mentioned AW on the electric chair segment, brackets, hashtag Rawful.
Yeah, it's close. It was just boring, though, rather than
Oh, yeah.
terrible.
Ball's not the bottom rating anymore, is it? Sorry. A high Rawful then.
Danny, your boy DeVito, says Corbin to AEW so they can build the mid-card around him.
Even AEW cannot escape the pull of Baron Corbin's mid-card vortex.
Jeremy Bell says, I have the flu and can't work for the week. I blame Ollie's unprotected coughing for the past week.
That is how germs work. I'm sorry, everyone who got sick through listening to the infected binary code that came out of your phone.
D-Matic the Ghost says, Bray Wyatt and R-Truth are saving Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live.
I'm not sure our truth is, but Bray certainly is.
Not this week, but Truth was good value for money last week.
I think Drake's the unsung hero of the 24/7.
Yeah.
Anton H says AW will be buying what's left of WWE in 5 years.
No. That's fun thinking, but
Let's walk before we can crawl. No, let's crawl before we can walk. In. Thanks.
Isn't it walk before we can run?
I think you can do either of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trenton Brown says you'll get Triple H's AW response on NXT probably.
Well, certainly on this week, it's already been taped, but maybe at
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's going to do. Destroy a Stardust outfit. That's what you said, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Used your
I
joke.
copyright that. Yeah. BJ Udster says, if AJ Lee returned, who would you want to see her face the most?
AJ Lee. Sorry, I thought you meant AJ Styles.
No.
I was about to say he's still here, isn't he?
And Moon, I think.
Becky.
Speaking of which, what about the man bottom for her finisher?
I like that.
Yeah, the man bottom.
Man
That's good.
bottom.
Actually, I prefer that to the man handle slam, which is a dreadful, dreadful name, by the way.
Again, that was my copyright, so no one else can take it.
I'm going to go for Sasha Banks.
Myron Cyron says, thank you for the great content,
name.
legends, hashtag respect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carly Strayer says, anything going to happen to Sami for saying AEW?
Well, no, it's a scripted line.
Yeah, there's no way he would have said it if
No.
it wasn't scripted.
And Sony Viola says, I 100% predicted Baron winning, lol.
I think it was the only option, really, of those four. Because Braun and Bobby are having a match at Super Showdown, which sort of took them out of the running automatically.
Yeah, rather telegraphed it.
Yeah.
And Miz is having a beautiful baby girl.
Congratulations. That's so much better than the Universal Championship. I wish I could feel the emotion of love. I'm still on Tinder. I don't know what love is.
Bobby Mincy says, maybe Braun's biggest weakness / soft spot is kids.
No, because he killed some, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he tagged with one and won the titles with them.
Yeah, but he did also kill the ones in the treehouse. But he was a kid back then.
That's true.
I forgot all about that.
Braun is a murderer.
Yeah,
That's
he
canon.
is.
That's
Yeah,
canon.
that's canon.
Yeah, he killed some kids.
And
But Bray Wyatt's the demented one.
Yeah. Well, he brought them in.
That's true, actually, yeah.
so it's-
he actually broke him out of prison. Adam Pearson says, Ollie, if we all got you a new jacket, would you wear it?
I've got to stay true to the stipulation, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he's
I
not
can't.
Shawn Michaels over here.
Thanks for the offer, but, I lost that fair and square.
I like your new show, by the way, Adam. I watched it over the weekend.
So did I. Raw 34 says, WWE dies, AEW gets lazy, cycle continues. I hope both companies stick around and improve. Anyone that wants WWE to die is just silly.
Yeah.
Competition is best for everyone.
Yeah.
That's why we like Cultaholic.
Jeffrey Pridemore says Brock versus Hiroki Sumi.
Yeah. He was that big. He was the Yokozuna replacement
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh, God.
By the way,
He's not still with the company, is he?
I have no idea. I don't think he was with the company at the time. I think to this day, that's my favourite backstage story of the last 5 years. I think it's the funniest thing ever that he wanted Yokozuna and the Ultimate Warrior. And so they just put Hiroki Sumi and Mojo Rawley in there. Look, pal. It's Yokozuna. Yeah.
I look different in real life. Yeah. The camera really changed.
Louise Marie says, do you think Sami's AEW was scripted or not?
From what we can gather, it's scripted.
I think it's definitely scripted.
Yeah. I don't think they would have let him get away with it.
Chris Wilson says, Susu Super Chat. So thank you, Chris. Game Fanatic says, seriously, Raw, where were all the deadlifts?
You're absolutely right. No deadlifts. 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
The true Stevie K says, no question, just a bit of fiscal support.
Oh, thank you very
thank
much.
you.
It's very kind
Cheers.
of you.
Personen, I'm sorry for this, Luke, but he says, I want Luke Big O Owen underwear.
But cool. Yeah.
The Big O.
The Big O.
There's just a hole in the middle. Sean
Hole in
Turner
the man
says, what is your thought of Bailey? He's asking me what I think of Bailey Sting.
No.
I think it's fine. Good idea. Nicola Villegas says, Villegas possibly, man, John Moxley promo video to New Japan was better than Raw this week.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, that he's going to New Japan
It's like
for
next
at least
week as well.
Yeah, for the
Facing
next
Juice
few
Robinson.
months.
Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Limps Tomo fan says, not sure, but maybe when Trips controls WWE, it'll be a friendly battle between him and Cody. After all, the caliber of shows under Triple H are gold. Cheers, buds.
I think everyone's overlooking how ruthless Triple H probably is as a businessman and in real life.
Oh, yeah. He was the reason why he was world champion forever.
Yeah. Like, do you remember how much everyone used to hate him before NXT?
Yeah.
He's just changed the perception. I don't think much has changed underneath.
He just rewrote the script.
Yeah.
Lee Morgan, thank you for your donation.
Thank you.
Insolent Crow says, honestly, after his reign of the Universal title, Brock has extreme X-Pac heat for me. Go away, Brock, go away.
But he's got a beast box now.
Yeah.
Tim Arendt says, do you reckon WWE will be stupid enough to have Bray's first title be the 24/7 title when he finally debuts in the ring?
Abigail should win it.
At some point, yeah, absolutely. And Bird Raptor.
Rampant Rabbit as well.
Yeah, well, he's not over.
No.
Bird Raptor.
It's not called Rampant Rabbit. It's something quite different. Rambling Rabbit. A rampant rabbit is what me and,
Luke just went, yes.
I completely forgot.
Sorry about that.
I just hear it so often.
Start Recording says, do you think Tyler Breeze will resurface into Raw or SmackDown with a nice push after his stint in NXT? Surely that's what comes after, right?
Yeah. We can all hope.
No.
Seth M says, do you think WWE will start taking direct shots at AEW?
I think this was today. I think that's their idea of a direct shot anyway. Wait till they get on TV.
BM Chamblay says, AEW champion vacant may capture the US title.
Yeah, he's having a really good year. Every year, really. Vacant multi-championship reigns, yeah.
Danny,
He's
your
the
boy,
true wild card.
DeVito says, reminder, Brock was IWGP champ and stripped of it.
He was.
Yeah.
Marco
So was Kurt Angle.
Perez, thank you for your lovely donation.
Thank
you.
Stan Man 222 says, theory, Moxley is a mole sent to infiltrate AEW.
Yes, what everyone said about Nash and Hall as well.
That
They were sent to WCW by the WWF, and so was Vince Russo. Vince Russo was sent to destroy the company.
Yeah, what's more likely? That he left because he was creatively frustrated and he went to this place where he could do TV-14 stuff?
Yeah.
Or it's an elaborate ruse?
Trenton Brown says, I think the Brock segment teeters on being good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I liked the like the Brock character stuff.
Yes, I would certainly say that's why I half agree. I think the character stuff's very good.
Tomo says, I
Tomo.
still can't believe that Dolph's attacking Kofi and Xavier went for 3 decades, and then said something about being over. Devin Banks says, I think MJF is what EC3 was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, well, EC3, it was never supposed to be anything. They never let him talk.
No.
The gimmick was that he was a mute.
Yeah. What was the first thing you said again?
Mandy.
That's it, Mandy. I thought it was Peyton.
In a pre-show skit.
Yeah.
Start Recording says, is Aleister Black
He
going to
beat
be...
Dean Ambrose.
I actually forgot about that. He did.
That was this year.
I know, but Dean he got the win back the following week though, so it kind of nullified. That was his only win, I think, over EC3.
Start Recording says, Black to be face or heel.
Tweener, I hope.
Yeah, I hope Tweener, yeah.
So babyface, really, if it's
Yeah.
a tweener.
Sean Turner, who is Bailey Stingman. Don't worry, Ollie. He just says, the person that attacked Sami also threw the pie at Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he's going against those former Ring of Honor guys, although Sami Zayn only ever wrestled in NXT.
He certainly did, yeah.
Jobber JJ. Jobbers are not losers. We have a 24/7 belt while Corbin is in the main event. Who's the real loser?
Wow.
Yeah.
When you're right, you're right.
The viewer.
Sorry for any noise you can hear. There is some drilling going on.
Yeah, it was we were meant to be done by 4 p.m., so they've probably started again.
We've got still a few more, but I'll rattle through them as quick as I can. C-Rock, thank you very much for your lovely donation. Jobber JJ says, Jobbers are saving Monday nights. Raw34 says, Baron punched that...
You can do it.
Come on, man.
No, he's just said...
You got this.
I don't think it's PC.
Oh, okay.
Baron punched AJ Styles in the face, woo.
Right. Yes, he did.
Jer Personen says, Luke and Ollie, hug it out. Yeah.
You smell delicious.
Thanks, man.
Evie Duran says, hi all, I missed the Double or Nothing stream. My day 2 of 6 streams celebrating Wrestle Talk. Ollie Davis is the best. Thank you for making this channel amazing.
It's pretty good, isn't he?
IMS level.
Only after moaning about it. Looks like you're no longer top of Wrestle League. Start recording. Cesaro value AJ Styles feud, please. No,
what
versus,
was that,
sorry? Yeah, he did say he did a typo. So Cesaro versus AJ Styles feud, please.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Amazing.
All over that. Yeah.
Limps says, Tomo's friggin' rich. You spent so much money to say that.
Tomo.
He actually calculated how much he spent on us, but I'll tell you afterwards. Nate dropped surname says, they had to divert the lighting to power the chair. I like that.
But that means you could make everything dip when you get shocked.
Like TNA when they had that electric steel cage match. The lights get out. We thought they could be competition at one point.
It's obviously a sound effect.
Neil T says, Ollie, what question would you have asked Sami Zayn?
Where is El Generico?
He tweeted about 3 months ago. The Zornis says, the demon was explained in NXT. It was said it costs Balor to turn into the demon. I know it doesn't explain Baron, but not Brock is worth the cost.
Yeah, but it costs him what? Money?
Everything.
Robert Steedley says, how about the best of 5 between Ricochet and Cesaro? That's literally how the bar came into... We've had that one before.
No, incorrect. It was the best of 7.
Yeah, it was.
Check your own joke next time.
Reen possibly, or I think probably Renee, says, any angles you want back? For example, Mojo EC3 on TV, lol.
Any angles?
Yeah, so angles that they've started but haven't really paid off on.
The Mojo stuff, yeah, sure.
Without the electric stuff.
No, I like Taserface. Kevin Owens as the New Day.
Yes, that's great answer. Great answer.
In response to you asking, what would you have asked Sami Zayn? Sean Turner says, obviously the best question, when is female Bailey Sting coming?
I think it's female Bailey Sting.
You know what?
Clarify.
Yes. Just if they do another segment, someone ask that.
Where's Bailey Sting?
That will bring me a lot more joy than support Wrestle Talk.
Jobber JJ says, my question for Sami is, who hanged you at Money in the Bank?
Well, he would have known, surely. And if he did know, he'd have told us.
He might have forgotten because they knocked him out. Tim Arendt says, the electric chair question is it true that basketballs don't hold grudges? I don't get that. But
Maybe it's a US joke.
Yeah, it could be.
either way, it was a good one.
Yeah.
Eric Arcega
I've seen
says,
Space Jam.
you have your very own pay-per-view. What would it be called?
Ooh.
Ooh, subpar.
Great rules.
A-OK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Smack bang in the middle.
Consistent grounds.
Yes. I have never... See, I asked him to do a super chat so I could read out his name. I have never seen a naked Mexican, says AEW exposed just how bad WWE really is.
Yeah. I think everyone's quality calibration is slightly different this week now.
Yeah.
TJ Ridgway says, is there any chance Seth pulls a John and leaves?
No, I don't think so. They've got way too much invested in him, and I think he likes that. And his girlfriend works there at the moment too.
Yeah, and they've got I don't know how long his contract is and really that's why Dean left, is because his contract was coming up. He had the option to re-sign and chose not to. But if Seth's there for like another 5 years, then he's kind of stuck there for another 5 years.
But he has kind of done everything. Like, if you want new challenges, you've got Kenny Omega. And he has tweeted that before, haven't they? They've kind of flirted online about having a match.
Maybe that'll be the big story next year.
Mike and Maria Canales are leaving, so...
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Mackenzie DaCosta says, Saturday was double, today was nothing.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nate dropped surname says, he says Randy stole credit. I said the man bottom in the chat. I did genuinely not see that, Nate, but I'm glad we think the same thing. Tomo says, you guys know how Corbin, Miz, Lashley, and Strowman were in an elimination match. No one was eliminated.
That's what we said, yeah.
Miz technically was.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
We have about 10 more, so we'll get through these. Jared Thomas says, any chance Joey Ryan and Candice will reunite soon?
Reunite.
In NXT?
Well,
I think they definitely want Joey Ryan, and if he's turned down the AEW deal...
But he did say that the report is that Ryan turned down the NXT offer as well because he would take a massive pay cut in order to take it on, because he makes so much money in the independents and they make very little money in NXT. And essentially, like, he'll be there for a couple of years and then start become a trainer. Yeah,
I think we'll see Candice reunite with Joey on the independents rather than in WWE.
Yeah. Well, it might happen at, say, like, an Evolve show.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Joshua Scott says, lost fan for 10 years, no more because of you two.
Lapsed fan because of 10 years.
Yeah.
Come back because of us. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I thought he was saying they've lost a fan now of 10 years because of us.
Yeah.
I just thought Andy was slowly switching off.
No. Brian Hoyt, thank you
for plugging in.
Thank you very much for your donation. Bryant Hoyt. Agent McMuffin says,
good name.
I thought for a moment Sami Zayn's AEW mention was scripted, but then why did WWE edit it out of their YouTube video?
To make you think that it's not.
Ooh.
It's not. It's in the Hulu version, apparently.
Jeffrey Pridemore, thanks for watching Raw, so I don't have to.
We got you back, bro.
Absolutely. I would say you're welcome, but...
Brian Hoyt back in with, why was the AEW mention blocked on YouTube, though?
Yeah, I think to make you think that it was an unscripted line.
Peter Gass, Thomas M, and Haley Crusoe, thank you very much for your generous donations.
Thank you very much.
Flameless Power says, why is everyone so down on this week's Raw? I get it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't that bad. They can't drop everything to respond to AEW at once.
Not asking you to drop everything, just asking you to make a compelling TV.
Yeah.
It was a boring show.
Take Double or Nothing out of it. It's a bad show.
It's still a boring show, yeah. It still went an hour and 40 minutes before wrestling happened. It's a 3-hour show. It's not like you're short on time.
Yeah, what do you reckon the rating's going to be like this week?
Well,
I think they were on the upswing. Yeah.
I think it's going to be bad because it's Memorial Day weekend.
DX2069 says the AW comment was edited out. The replay, as we said. Mike Streeter says, is Renee Young going to be leaving soon?
Depends on how long she's under contract for. I can't see her leaving.
And finally, thank you so much for everyone's donations, by the way. Dale Creasy says, hey lads, an old one, but who kidnapped Joe in TNA?
We should have a greatest unanswered questions list.
Yeah. Oh, he came out. He tried to kill Scott Steiner. This mojo. He came out with a penis drawn on his face and a knife.
So was Vince Russo booking that angle?
Of course he bloody was.
Can we track down former writers of angles and ask them what was the payoff?
Bro, standards and practices meant I couldn't finish the story.
So that's the last one, wasn't it?
That's the last one, yeah.
Thank you all so much. That was very stacked of super chats. Thank you all so much. One of our longest episodes ever now. But thank you before the drilling stops. Thank you to our pledge hammers on Patreon who have pledged $25 or more. Thank you, Big Balls, Billy Buchanan.
Oh, hey. He's a popular one. The leader of the New World Discorder, Ewan McDonald.
Hey, thank you to Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah.
Great series of games.
Krampus Kendall Ellis.
Oh, lovely.
Ooh.
Yes. Adam and the Anthony Bergeron.
Yeah, just cheer louder over the drilling.
The Dijon Mustard.
Yeah. The one and only Mr. One.
Yeah. Colin McLean than Finn Balor. He's leading.
And finally, sayonara, Kane Grant.
Yeah.
That's all we've got time for today. Please click the videos that have just appeared on the desk to catch up with the latest Wrestle Talk things and press this button right here, which will get you to Patreon, where you can become a pledge hammer and get your own shout-outs. I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Luke Owen. Over there is WrestleTalk.com's Randy Andy Datson. And that was Rambling.